The mechanic I've created allows the player to create a spell through selecting multiple components, each of which impact how the spell acts. First is the shape component. These components generally impact how the spell is being aimed, but also impact how the spell should travel. Secondly is the effect component. These components have a huge range of impacts at many different levels of the spell cycle. They might impact how the spell aims, or how it deals damage. Lastly is the element component. These are the after effects of the spell, and are applied once the spell has impacted a target. The component may cause the target to burn, or it might cause the target to be thrown away from the spell. The mechanic has taken ideas from games like Magicka and Lichdom Battle Mage, as well as taking certain elements from Divinity: The Original Sin. I wanted to make a mechanic that allows for malleable spells that can be applied to any situation, allowing the player to use what they need when they want it. Magicka does this well by allowing players to combine different components to affect what the spell does and how it does it, while Divinity 2 allows the player to mix different elemental impacts to create greater results. In order to balance the build, I added in basic analytics utilizing the Abertay Analytics package. Each game, these analytics will track the name of spells used, individual target damage, time since the player was last hit, and end of round statistics such as the total round timer and the number of enemies spawned. In the initial dataset, the Ball Explode Fire was weak due to being too slow. Ball Chain was functional but needed a larger retargeting radius. Line Chain suffered from a bug which caused it to do nothing sometimes. Line Explode was exceptionally strong, and the Ball Explode Electric Water combo was on the same level as Ball Explode Fire. The second dataset has some adjustments made to all the effects' damage multipliers, shape Ball's speed, increase the effects chain's targeting radius while decreasing the effect Explode's damage radius, and reworked the spawn cooldown for fairer waves. In this set, Ball Explode Fire ended up being weaker due to its smaller radius, Ball Chain was improved by the radius increase, Line Chain was similarly improved, Line Explode was still exceptionally strong despite the nerf, and Ball Explode Electric/Water is still just as good as Ball Explode Fire. The final set has some more adjustments made to the effect chain's damage radius to stop it from hitting multiple enemies, enemy spawning times, enemy movement, and a minor UI update to make the casting more readable. In this third set, Ball Explode Fire is a good baseline. Ball Chain is as it was. Line Chain is still buggy but no longer overpowered. Line Explode is still exceptionally powerful. Ball Explode Electric Water is now slightly better than Ball Explode Fire. Meanwhile, Line Explode Electric Water is almost as strong as Line Explode Fire. Each round of balancing changes resulted in the rounds becoming more and more in the player's favour. The rounds would last longer, initially starting at a minute and eventually lasting 3 minutes. Despite the damage number changes, the average damage stayed similar, only increasing from 5 to 6, while kills grew exponentially, starting at 7 on average and ending in 60. Round 1 had a kill every 2 seconds, round 2 had a kill every 4 seconds, and round 3 had a kill every 3 seconds. Overall, the mechanic is a fun and unique spin on a typically dated system and adheres well to a player-focused design, placing the player at the centre of emergent gameplay. The abstract builder system works ideally for the type of system that I wanted to create and is allowed for easy manipulation of how the spell functions. It is in need of some art for clarification of the individual spells and UI, as its current prototype state leaves a lot to be desired. The mechanic also requires some more reworking and balancing. For instance, the Shape Line Effect Explode spell is still infinitely stronger than any other component combination. If I was to redo this task, I wouldn't have done much different, besides having a better timeline workload balance. In the end, I'm happy with what I've made and I'm proud of the work that I've put into it. The mechanic is modular, fun and simple, which is everything I could have hoped for going into this project. In future, this mechanic might see itself implemented into a multitude of different game types that I might work on. The setup allows for expansion of components with any number of additions, with an already functional skeleton to build on top of. The mechanic is in need of further UI development and would benefit greatly from hotkeys as well as the hotbar. The mechanic could easily be molded into almost any game genre, whether FPS or an adventure game, and in any setting, whether sci-fi or fantasy.